You know you want to start a business, but you're having a tough time articulating your idea. If you want to become an entrepreneur, it's important to start with a great business idea. All you need is a bit of inspiration. It all starts with an idea that has room to grow over time. If you are struggling with the same, then congratulations, participants. You are at the biggest and the largest entrepreneurial summit, TIE Global Summit 2020. Designed for the entrepreneurs by the entrepreneurs. And our next panel is going to help you with some brilliant and unique business ideas. Let me introduce the moderators for the session, market anchor and editor, Nisha Poddar, along with Thai Global Summit Chair, founder, CMD Control S and Cloud 4C, Mr. Sridhar Reddy, in conversation with Rishabh Singh, founder of Boria Bistar, Philip Tompkins, founder at Rent the Chicken, Shruti Reddy, founder and MD, and Anthesti Funeral Services. Ashna, co-founder and COO of Moo Farms. James Hookwe, co-founder and owner of Hangover Helpers. Can we give a huge round of applause, virtually of course, for the panel? Welcome.
Thank you so much, Akriti. And it's a great pleasure to present some of the unique ideas. Out of the box thinking is what differentiates one entrepreneur clearly from the other. And today we are going to discuss some of these crazy ideas and which are actionable as well. In fact, I have with me Sridhar, and Sridhar, of course, has been really toiling for the Thai Global Summit, and everybody knows him by now. Sridhar has also been in touch with many entrepreneurs through this entire journey of Thai Global Summit. Sridhar, being an entrepreneur yourself, I can totally understand that it's very difficult to probably talk about somebody else's idea. But I would like to know, which is that one good, unique idea that really made a mark for you, and you think that that was really, really very creative?
No, but a few years ago, 3, 4 years ago, I was in New York at another entrepreneur summit. And I met one gentleman from Israel. And funny guy, I started talking to him for a drink, and I asked him, "What do you do?" And he said, "I work with pandas." I said, "What?" Yes, he said, he went to China on a trip, and then saw pandas, fell in love with them. So he took them to Israel and started a kind of a recreational thing for the kids and adults as well. Yeah, and very successful. So now that thought inspired me into thinking that we need to bring in something like that to the Thai summit. I couldn't find the panda man. I searched hard, but that was years ago. But we have got an amazing panel here today to go through, and yeah, that's the thought. And
Let's get into, yes.
sorry, Nisha, go ahead.
Yes, so let's get into that discussion without much ado, Sridhar. But that panda thought was really very crazy, I would say. Okay, first let's begin with another idea, and I'll leave it to the founder to talk about it. But first, the video about this particular company.
Hey! What? Jen and Phil says we're going on a vacation. What? I have to pack. Where do you think we're going? I don't know, but I bet it's somewhere great. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
You mean to tell me you
vacation. What? Heck! Where do you think we're going? I don't know, but I bet it's somewhere great.
You mean to tell me you rent these chickens?
Yep, rentthechicken.com. You get 2 hens, a coop, a water dish, and all the food you need to get fresh eggs daily.
Oh my God, look at this grass! This is a wonderful view. Whee!
Just don't tell them they think they're on vacation.
Hey, Amy, they even have a pool!
Rentthechicken.com, because even chickens need a vacation.
All right, so that was the preview to Rent the Chicken. Fascinating video and fascinating idea. And we have with us co-founder of Rent the Chicken, Phil Tompkins, joining us from Penn, USA. Hi, Phil. It's so good to have you on Thai Global Summit. And it's a fascinating idea. I want you to explain what this idea is all about and how did you think of it?
Sure. So thank you, everybody. Rentthechicken.com if you need to watch that video again, not a problem. But we started our business in 2013 here just outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're about 5 hours south of Toronto, if you know where that is. And our business is very unique. We've grown to more than 30 locations, and we work with farmers throughout the United States and Canada. And we deliver exactly what we said. We bring a coop and chickens and everything because people just want to have a taste of that farm life in the city.
Oh my God. And I'm hoping that it's equally lucrative a business as well.
Oh, this year, 2020 has been amazing for our business. Our sales are up like 35% over last year's numbers already. It's one of those things that we've got this niche, and every year we get larger and larger and larger, more and more revenue. But it's difficult being an entrepreneur, especially when you're trying to find that idea, that segment that you want to get involved in, that market segment, and then figuring out how to implement that segment. And that's what we've done. And every year we add on more products, we add on more farmers, and it's motivation, right? You've got to be motivated every single day, and I like to say we do that, and when we are motivated, we're hatching new ideas.
I think that's the best phrase for you, Phil. Amazing idea. Let me take it to Sridhar. Sridhar, what do you think? Of course, great idea, but I would like to question one thing. For an entrepreneur, motivation, yes, you may have, executable idea you may have, but what about replicability?
Yeah, I know. I see. Yeah, I see a challenge in that aspect. But it can be planned. You see, all you need to do is get more hands, or maybe get partners to grow them, and then have franchise network maybe. It is possible as long as there is a need for fresh eggs. You see, is that the need you're fulfilling, and people are excited about that, or is that having a chicken at home running around is exciting? It depends on that. Which need are we,
fulfilling? And it has to be yes, Phil.
Yeah, so we meet several needs. There were definitely customers in March and April that wanted chickens just to have fresh eggs because they couldn't get eggs at the store. There were also customers every single year, they want to give their kids something to do at home. So the education, the fresh food, the taste of the country life, right? We are teaching them, in the United States at least, people are 2 to 3 generations away from family members that had chickens, right? My grandparents had chickens. When I talk to a lot of Americans, it may be their great grandparents were the last ones to have chickens. So we provide that education as to how to have them. Now, in other countries, chickens are very common. And you probably even see them running around the road. But here in the
very,
United
very
States,
common in Bombay. In our neighborhood.
yes, but it's not
I was
common
being
here.
sarcastic. Yeah. All right. So I get your point, Phil, and I think it's also going back to the roots. That's the market that you're catering to. But I personally like the idea of getting fresh eggs because organic and fresh is the way to go when it comes to consumption.
Absolutely, yes.
So good to have you. So good to have you. It was an excellent idea, and all the best for future as well for your business. Let me hop across to another great idea, and that's James Fukue, the co-founder of Hangover Helpers. James, we all need you.
Yes, we're here. We're very busy on the weekend.
Are you there?
Yes, we are. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, please go ahead.
So we're Hangover Helpers. We're a after-party event cleaning company. So we do household weddings, engagements, birthdays. We come in the next day and clean up after the party and make your place or your event looks like there was no party there. The niche thing about us is we also bring breakfast. So that was pre-COVID. We'd also bring breakfast, bring Powerades and refreshments. So all you would have to do is let us in and you can go back to bed and we'll look after the place for you.
It's a great idea, and having been to Australia, I know that service industry is so thin over there, and somebody to have, to cook for you is just a luxury over there, right? So that's the best market to cater to. How is the demand growing, and are you going to expand in Hangover Helpers? Are there avenues to branch out into other departments also?
Definitely. I mean, the demand's growing all around Australia. We launched 4 or 5 years ago now, and it pretty much went too big, too fast. We were on the radio and the TV and the Shark Tank really fast. So we sort of focused on 2 main areas in Western Australia and in Melbourne, Victoria. All around Australia, people have asked us to set up over there. So it's really finding people who we can business partner with in those areas to be able to grow. We're trying to get in, because at the moment we pretty much only work on weekends as main people's events. So we are trying to look at other ways we can get into the Monday to Friday cleaning. It's a very saturated market in Australia. You can find regular cleaners for quite a cheap price, where we try to a whole new service and something a bit different that people want to recommend to their friends and use us again and again. So we're trying to bring in other ways in our brand. We're getting some new merchandise and stuff that we can share as well.
Okay, just one quick question from you. Do you think that only, is it a margin play or a volume play? Are you like an expensive service only the rich can afford, or is it for like young guys and girls who party and then they can use your services as well?
It's definitely a mix. We definitely have the big houses on the coast where you have a lot more money, but we set up the business at a time when we were going to a lot of weddings and bucks parties. So we're thinking if you can get 20 friends together, come into a party, put $10 in each, you can afford us. So I would say we're more expensive than a regular domestic cleaner you might find online. But yeah, the way we set it up, you could definitely afford it within a group, very easy, for sure.
All right, James, great idea. And too bad that Wednesday night partying hasn't picked up in Australia. You wish and I wish that it does for your business. But Sridhar, great idea. In fact, the name is quite deceptive, Hangover Helpers. I would have thought that they will provide many more services than just cleaning and cooking in the morning.
You know, what James did, the piece that I loved about James is that it's not a highly differentiated service.
Yes.
But he differentiated it by the way he positioned it.
Yes.
Right? You know, simple positioning. Look at him. I'm sure after watching this show, he's going to get a franchise, request from here, from India, or from all over the world, because we have now 40 countries participating here. It's simple, brilliant way of positioning, I would say.
All right. So brand positioning and creating that importance, James. That's your USP. Thanks so much for joining us, and hope that people in Perth party more harder and more days in a week than just weekends. Let me hop across to another entrepreneur then joining us, Anna Brightman, who's the co-founder of Upcircle Beauty. Anna, you want to talk about your business first, and then we'll take it forward?
Sure. Yeah, so I am the co-founder of Upcircle Beauty. Our business is centered on upcycling natural ingredients from various industries and then reimagining them as high-performing skincare ingredients. So every single skincare product that we put out is made with a byproduct from another industry. The idea started about 4.5 years ago when we walked into a local coffee shop and asked them what they did with their used coffee grounds at the end of the day. It was just a small independent coffee shop, not a big chain. So we were really shocked when we found out that they produce so much per day that they have to pay the local council to have it disposed of at landfill sites. So it's, it's a popular ingredient. We're never going to deplete from that, the amount that we can collect. And it's also really good for your skin. So we started collecting from coffee shops. We now are partnered with hundreds of small chain and independent coffee shops all over London where we're based. And we turned those coffee grounds into exfoliators for the face and body, and then started extracting the oils into facial serums as well. We've since expanded out to repurpose 10 other byproducts from other industries, things like residual fruit waters from the juicing industry, powdered fruit stones into face masks, moisturizers, lotions and potions, all sorts of different things. But yeah, that's our kind of core idea. So an eco circular economy skincare brand.
Oh, great idea. And that is the buzzword right now. But Anna, don't you have too much competition in your space? Everybody is trying to go organic. Everybody is trying to get more sustainable, and especially in beauty products, people hate chemicals these days. And so you must be getting too much competition.
There is an awful lot of competition. Skincare is a very crowded market. And as you said, I think being things like vegan or cruelty-free or natural or organic, that's now become an entry-level expectation. That's not something, that's not enough to set you aside anymore. So that's why we go to the next step with regards to sustainability by repurposing byproducts into every single formulation. That is not something that any other skincare brand in the world has been able to scale to the same extent that we have. So yeah, you get niche brands that might be focused in one city or maybe even one country. Like I know there's a brand in Germany who have successfully started recycling coffee in the same way that we do, for example. But we sell our products all over the world, big in America, we're in Australia, all over Europe, the UK, and it's not just one ingredient, it's varied ingredients into every single product. And also, our brand name, our logo, our messaging, our story, every single element of what we do from top to bottom is centered on that repurposing story. So that's completely unique to us.
All right, just one quick question. So is your cost of production also low because mostly it's byproducts, and rather you'd spend more on marketing?
So yes, we do have added complications when it comes to the sourcing of our ingredients. It's not easy to go collecting coffee from hundreds of cafes, for example, particularly this year with COVID. We do rely on the functioning of other industries in order to secure our supply chain. So that's definitely something that we have to think about that other brands might not have to. But yes, sometimes we aren't paying for that initial ingredient because we are saving those other industries from a cost that they would have had were we not to collect it. So we make sure, therefore, we were talking earlier about whether these services are some sort of elite privilege or come with a more premium price tag. I was only 23 when I started my business, and I wanted to make sure that all of my products were affordable and were products that I would have bought at that age. So we maintain very attractive price points at the same time.
All right. Thanks, Anna, for that. And let me take it straight to Sridhar. Sridhar, what do you think about this idea?
Sorry, I was on mute. I love this idea. I don't know much about the beauty industry, but the idea that something we are wasting and you take that and convert into a beauty product, I would use it totally. I mean, if it is available in Singapore, do let me know, or India, do let me know. I'll make sure that we buy it. Yeah, thank you, Anna.
All right, Anna, you have a ready buyer right here.
Yes.
It was a great sales pitch. Thank you so much for joining us, and all the best for your future venture as well. Shruti Reddy is the next one that we're
I
going
don't
to
want to buy
call.
her service.
Okay.
No.
I don't think it has reached that valuation yet. All right. Shruti Reddy is the founder of Anthisti.com. I hope I pronounced it well, Shruti. And you want to talk about your business. It's quite remarkable. The company organizes professional funerals with respect and care across all communities in India. So it has a social angle to it as well. Will you talk about your company?
Yeah, so Antishti Funeral Services, we are more of a one-stop solution for all funeral needs. So yes, this concept is relatively very new in India as to an event kind of planning. We started this company about 5 years back in Calcutta. With a major the service offering being to the Hindu communities, because like it's very diverse and there are so many community rituals that need to be performed across the Hindu religion. So not just catering to the end-to-end funeral planning, what we also do is that we help in the repatriation of human remains. That is, I mean, God forbid, should someone lose their loved one in a different city or a different country. So we have got all the wherewithals and the customs clearances, etc., all arranged so that we can also arrange for the transportation of the human remains. So if I could bifurcate, it's the logistics part is actually into the transportation of human remains, and then we have got people who are helping them with the customs clearance. And last but not the least, catering to our the rituals and the community part. So we also have got pujaris who can actually do the Shraddha Puja.
Okay, very unique idea, I must say, Shruti. And yeah, when you're grieving, you don't want to take care of all of that. How's the traction?
Yeah, so like about we do close to 100 customers per month. And speaking with specific numbers, so just last month we had a revenue close to 11 lakhs.
All right, Sridhar, what do you think about this? It's in a very different kind of a space, and you know, making money out of it. I don't know how will you demonstrate your balance sheet as well. Sridhar, what are your thoughts?
Sorry, on mute again. I think there's a big need, honestly, very, very big need. When someone in your family, goes away, right?
Yes.
In the olden days, yes, we used to have tons of people around and who would pick up that role of taking care of you. As the micro families coming around and people migrating, that support I don't think is available. And if I mean, I see it as something which is a great service to the nation. Shruti, if we can scale up, I hope one of the investors who's watching you now is going to back you up. Otherwise, please do write to us. We'll try and match make you with ABC.
Sure. Thanks a lot for that, Sridhar. Sure.
Great, Shruti. Great. You're filling, one of the vacuums with the service that you're providing, and that's a great idea. Thank you so much for joining us with your idea and thoughts. Rishabh Singh is our next candidate who's going to talk about his great idea. And in fact, the name of his company is especially very interesting, Boria Bistar. Rishabh, you want to talk about your company and what does this Boria Bistar mean? We staying in Bombay, the ones who keep changing their house every few months are very well versed with this idea of Boria Bistar for sure.
So yeah, so we started way back in 2015 while we were in our colleges. So our main sole purpose was to help the student community who are shifting to newer places for their colleges. So, and eventually we then scaled down to other B2B and B2B segments, wherein we set the entire properties up for you guys. For example, you're shifting from Delhi to Mumbai, and then within 24 hours, you have a property, and then we set the entire place up for you, be it your something smaller like a cutlery to your bedding, to your furniture and appliances. So this is how we started, and right now we have a good tie-up with a good number of colleges here in Bangalore, Gurgaon NCR, and also a good number of B2B companies like Nestaway, Rentomojo, and these companies, wherein we furnish the entire properties and also take care of their appliances and furnitures.
Right. Rishabh, how do you differentiate from movers and packers or those kind of services then?
So again, this is a completely different segment wherein we are working. It is not just about transportation. What we do, we provide the things up. We furnish the properties up for you guys. So you are shifting. You need a bed, a mattress, and a furniture within 24 hours. So we just deliver it. We have our own manufacturing unit wherein we make our own mattresses and also our furnitures. And then we have a tie-up with maybe about 30, 40 different odd vendors. So we get the products and then deliver it to you at your place at your convenient time.
So it must be a volume play and not a margin play because it's student community that you're catering to.
Yeah, but again, we started off with the mind of a student audience, but right now we have also expanded to a regular B2C. We have a e-commerce website wherein anyone can place their order online and that will be delivered. So it is not only student community we are targeting, it is anyone between the age of 18 to 40, people who are shifting for the jobs or the colleges, higher education, whatever it is, we do that.
All right. And Bombay people keep moving, just letting you know also, Rishabh. Sridhar, what is the most fascinating bit about this story?
I think the need, right? Yes, you're right, Nisha, that they have the transport companies doing part of the job. Then there are you can also do e-commerce. You go online and buy the stuff, but putting it all together and with a nice name, branded, and once people come to know, this is creating a new need. The need was not there, frankly, in the past. But what Rishabh did is that he created that. It's convenient now. Oh, boria bistar kar lo, ho gaya. Sorry for my Hindi, but his name is also in Hindi. That's why. So once the need is created like that, probably it takes a while. It's a new concept. It's like 12 years ago when I went to the market and I said I want to sell cloud. No one believed it, or no one wanted anything to put on the cloud, right? So I went back and created a need for it. I said disaster recovery on demand, and overnight there was a rush of orders especially from large companies, right? So what Rishabh did is to create a absolutely a new packaged kind of a solution. And I wish you all the best, Rishabh, for your.
Rishabh, I must tell you one thing. The one thing I find most difficult is shifting. And if all can be tied up together by one person, and I've often said that if only I could outsource this work. So trust me that there is a huge need. I don't know among students how much margin you can make, but in the higher classes, definitely there is a huge need for this. And definitely the margins would also be good. I mean, I would be ready to pay if somebody just takes care of my entire shifting and I go to another house with everything prim and proper. So all the best for your cause and for your business. Thank you so much for joining us here. Let me take to another next very crazy, and this is Sridhar, a real crazy idea. Krishji Ranoti, who's the chief of organizational development of and operations at Join My Wedding. I think I'll leave it to you to explain your business.
Hello there. I'm Chrissy and co-founder of Join My Wedding. And basically what we do is we help travelers, especially travelers going to India, to participate in a real wedding. So the service that we provide is connecting couples who are about to be married with travelers who want to join a wedding. And the purpose of this is cultural exchange. The idea is that if you're a traveler, you can get to know so much more about the culture by joining a wedding. You meet real people, real families. The conversation is completely different than if you meet a tour guide and go sightseeing, because they welcome you. You can understand people. You get to experience food, dance, and other parts of culture. So that's what we do.
So it must be very seasonal because Indian weddings have happen only in a particular season?
Mostly, but there are exceptions. Like we also have summer weddings.
Right.
Much fewer, of
All
course.
right. Great. Sure. Sridhar, one thing she said, which is most eye-catching, is cultural exchange. Again, positioning of this business in a different way altogether.
Absolutely, absolutely. I network with a lot of Europeans, especially, and almost everyone is fascinated by Indian weddings, and they have a crazy desire to attend an Indian wedding. They're so much fascinated by it. At least I would have had 50 to 100 people. I would have, everyone talks about Indian weddings. So yeah, it's a niche, very niche play. But who knows? I mean, Chrissy could bring in 100 people to a wedding, and the wedding actually, is done, for the tourists. You see. No, that is also possible. And then she could further extend. If I were her, what will I do? I would sell them saris. I would sell them, the whole package, right? So it will be a whole experience she could create, not just attend the wedding, but, right from the dressing to the, travel to, and probably, who knows, she may have a few thousand people. There is definitely demand out there.
I totally agree with you. There is a huge demand for that, and a great idea, Krishi. And thanks so much for joining us here. So Sridhar, we got a plethora of ideas.
Yeah.
And all of them out of the box thinking, but very actionable and money making as well. That's what is required, and they've also managed to execute it. Everybody can have good ideas, but execution is the challenge. But you also have a great presentation. Why don't you go ahead with that, and then we can chat more.
Yeah. See, the idea behind, calling, first of all, thanks to our research team at Control S to go all around the world, find the ideas, unbelievable ideas and unique ideas, and contact all the, founders of those and bringing them together. It's an amazing work. It took us more than 2 months to, put together all of this. Thank you very much for all of you to joining here today. And but before you all go, you need to see this, all right? We all think that these are all unbelievable ideas. I mean, the entrepreneurs who are here, extremely unbelievable. But let's go back maybe 10 to 20 years and think, okay? We all of us think, I know you're 25, but just imagine how it would have been 20 years ago, right? Or let's go back to 1945. Saurabh, if you can, start the presentation. Just go to 1945. And you know what IBM said? IBM founders said that the global market for computers is 5 computers. 1945, right? And ask him to, yeah. Can you go to the next slide, please? Yeah. This is in 1945. IBM said they have a global market of 5. Okay. Now, let me take it to another slide. 100% of all necessity businesses today, all necessity businesses, which we take it for granted, started as outlandish ideas, started as unbelievable ideas that we have seen today. Yes, some of the ideas could be small, big, but look at Henry Ford. The entrepreneurs today have demonstrated that they have created a new need, and that is what Henry Ford did, and established Ford Company, which became the biggest automobile manufacturer. And he said, if I asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. They don't know that a car, or they could not even imagine All they wanted was, they wished that they wanted to go faster. And that's what Henry Ford did by creating a car. When he thought of first time about a car, I'm sure people would have ridiculed him, right? Or would have called it an unbelievable idea or a crazy idea. Let's go to the next one. The entrepreneurs who are here with us today are the people who have seen an opportunity when others saw a problem. When there is a problem, there is an opportunity. When there is an issue, when there is a need, someone is thinking of, that which is unmet need, I call it as, then there is an opportunity. That's what the entrepreneurs, true entrepreneurs, are made up of. Let's go to the next one. Who thought that Amazon, when they started off, this was like 10, 15 years ago, when people can just go out and go to a bookstore and get a book. But who thought that, and also they're extremely paranoid about using a credit card online. And it takes 1 week for the book to be shipped to your home. But Jeff Bezos saw something else. Hence, the Amazon was born. Let's go to the next. This founder was here with us yesterday. Our youngest, one of the youngest, and almost he's going to be a decacorn, or who thought you could establish a Oyo room. And he started off like one of you who said that I could create a hotel from a small a home, or a unused property, or not optimally used property. And look at today, he has 1 million rooms. He was with us yesterday. Go to the next one, right? Uber, Grab, these are a common thing for us. But when they started 10, 12 years ago, like one of you guys, people would have said, what are you thinking? You want to start a cab company and you don't own a car? Look at Uber today. Every one of these companies are unbelievable ideas when you go back to 2 years behind when they were started off. Every one of it is unbelievable idea. If you'd have asked, some of your family or friends that you want to start a cab company, but you don't own it, and someone else's car will be given to you, probably they would have said unbelievable. And if people say unbelievable, please don't leave it. My advice to my fellow entrepreneurs or prospective entrepreneurs is that start thinking more about it. When they say unbelievable, crazy idea, that's what you wanted to do. That's what you want to spend time. I'm not saying that open it up straight away. If you got to put your homework. Same is the case. Let's go to the next one. Same is the case with Netflix, for example, right? Who would have thought, people can watch online movies on demand, right? Netflix saw it coming. Netflix saw that, fiber is going homes and it is possible. And that's how they started it so early on. And a year before that, they would have started probably, people would have said unbelievable. Let's go to the next one. Look at this Carpenter, world's richest man. He solved a simple problem of furniture. He simplified the problem. And in the past, we used to go to the carpenter to get our furniture done. There were furniture manufacturing companies, but at the same time, transportation. He solved a simple problem, became the world's richest man, and created wealth for everyone and solved problems for millions of households. And people think, why do we need to go to space? Let's go to the next one. People are thinking, what is these crazy guys are doing? I mean, SpaceX, when SpaceX was started, imagine how much the founder had to go through. It is still a dream. Still people think that, Elon Musk sometimes dreams a lot. I mean, he was subjected to this a few years ago. Till a few years ago, there was big doubt about what SpaceX could be delivered. Go to the next one. Same is the case with Airbnb. Who would have thought that people will rent out their own homes? 6 million rooms got added. Simple idea. Probably, I don't know exact year of founding, a year before that, or around the same time when Airbnb founders started, they would have said unbelievable idea. And go to the last one. Next one. Look at PayPal. Started a new fintech revolution. Go to the next one. A Lego. A global icon of plastic blocks. These are all unbelievable ideas when they started off. And almost every company out there is an unbelievable idea. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the point we are trying to make through this panel, and with the impressive list of the unbelievable ideas entrepreneurs. Thank you, Nisha, for hosting it.
If I can just take 30 seconds, Sridhar, great presentation, learned so much. And of course, all these are our daily life usage ideas now. But we are in a land of big ideas. In India, everybody has a big idea. I meet several of them. Execution, staying relevant with changing times as pandemic has taught us, cost control and operational efficiency equally good. Way before Uber started in Bombay, we had a cab service which could not survive. So remember that it's not just about the idea. You have to have various other aspects. And I have always said that a 20-year-old may have a great idea, but a 45, 50-year-old experienced hand guiding and mentoring that could be a very good combination. Thank you so much, Sridhar.
Thank you, Anna, James, Rent the Chicken, Rishabh and Shruti. Thank you, Chris Ji. Thank you all for joining us. Had a great time. Fun meeting you all.